All right, if you're listening to it, this is part 2 because I can't do my stuff right and should have stopped that from happening to begin with. But it may happen again, so there may be a part 3 before we're over. All right. We're talking about Passover, right? Okay. 14th day, sun goes down. This is when Christ went in the tomb, right? There's a lead up to it. Now, here we're in the lead up in John chapter 12, all right? And Jesus, and this is what it says, Then Jesus, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany where Lazarus, which had been dead, whom he raised from the dead. All right, so we're 6 days out on Passover right now. Okay, do you know what today is? Today's the 6th day before Passover. So this day that he's talking about is the exact solar day that we're living in at this moment. Okay? Now, when the sun goes down out here, the new day is going to begin. Okay? Now, instead of reading through all this, I want to go down here where it says it. Then let me see if I can find it real quick. All the way down to verse 12. All right, that was the 6th day. On the next day, so we're on the 5th day, right? Now, I just wanted to put us both in the moment that we are right now and in the moment several thousand years ago on this exact solar day at this exact time that we're talking about. Because the new day, the 5th day, is getting ready to begin. Listen to what it says. On the next day, much people that came to the feast, which is they're piling into Jerusalem, right? Because they have converts and stuff. They're coming in from Syria, all these places. They're coming in for the Passover, right? Big thing going on, just like you said. All right? Come to Jerusalem, verse 13. Took branches of palms and went forth. Wait a minute. On the next day, when they heard Jesus would come to Jerusalem, took branches of palm trees and went forth to meet him and cried, Hosanna. Blessed is the King of Israel that cometh in the name of the Lord. Okay? Now, this is called the triumphant entry. All right? Christ, they are calling him the Messiah. They're openly calling him the Messiah, which makes him the anointed King of Israel. All right? Which also puts him in open defiance of Rome. Yep. Right. Now, these are what people said. Right, that's right. That's exactly what he's actually executed for, right? He's claiming to be a king other than Caesar. Okay, and that's what the violation of Roman law that actually gets him crucified. It's not the baloney that these scribes and Pharisees bring up against him. It's just one thing, right? It's just Rome that gets him killed, right? Even though he's not the one that said it. No. It was the people saying it. He never said that. Right. It was what the people were saying, though. Right. Well, that's right. Exactly right. Verse 14, and Jesus, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon, as it is written. All right, that's also another point of law, is that the king was not allowed to ride a horse into battle. All right, it had to be a colt. It had to be an ass. All right, and there are reasons for that, mostly because those horses come from Egypt. At first, is most of it. It won't be till Solomon until they actually bring horses into the common use in Israel, all right, because of his exploits and his trade with other countries. But until then, and it said specifically, if they can't, when they go into battle, they're to ride a colt, or an ass of a colt. All right, 15. Fear not, daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh, sitting on an ass's colt. 16. These things understood not the disciples at first, but when Jesus was glorified, or after he had been resurrected, then remembered they that these things were written of him, and that they had done these things unto him. 17. And the people therefore that was with him, when he called Lazarus out of the grave and raised him from the dead, and bore record, for this cause the people also met him, right? He was famous for doing miracles, right? But not only that, you got two big rock stars. You got Jesus here, and you got a guy that he's raised from the dead, and they're both there.
Wasn't Lazarus a thief, right?
No, Lazarus was a poor man. There's several Lazarus. There's not just one. There's several through the book. Eleazar is what Lazarus is, the Hebrew equivalent of Lazarus, and Eleazar is Aaron's third son. His first two sons, God kills them for offering strange fire on the altar. And Eleazar is the priesthood then that continues on. So when he resurrects Lazarus, He's resurrecting the priesthood. Well, he's actually resurrecting the priesthood. Yeah.
Right?
All right.
That's crazy.
So there's a lot more to that than just that. Right. All right. Let's see. And the people, therefore, that was with him, when he called Lazarus out of the grave and raised him from the dead, bore record. For this cause the people also met him, for they heard that he had done these miracles. And the Pharisees therefore said among themselves, perceive ye how ye prevail nothing? Behold, the world has gone after him. All right? They're mad because the whole world now is not going to their church. All right? Buddy, you ought to run these kind of things in the current kind of system. When you start taking the Bible actually into a church, this is a kind of an attitude that you run into. The exact thing. It's like they don't want you to ask too many questions, I promise you. Because you start asking questions and they don't have the right answers for them, it starts causing problems. And you end up getting excommunicated. And they ain't no joke. And they'll tell you flat to you, don't come back, you're just trouble. They'll call you troublemaker is what it is. Especially if you don't agree with whatever the answer is. But if you're right, you're right. And if they excommunicate you from a church that's not much of a church, then who cares?
The whole way the modern church today is set up anyways leads it to where questions aren't.
That's right. It's just about,
answer questions,
right.
ask questions.
Listen to a 30, 40-minute message, pay your tithes, go home, come back Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's just kind of that kind of roll it over Christianity kind of an idea. Right.
Do what you're told. Yeah.
Right. Listen to this in verse 20, because this actually goes somewhere. Remember, we're on the 5th day from Passover. That day that'll change when the sun goes down. And there went certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. Right? So we got Greeks coming in too. Why? Because it's a metropolitan area in reality. It was what Jerusalem is at this time. The same came, therefore, to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. And Philip cameth and telleth Andrew, and Andrew and Philip telleth Jesus. So they just had to got these people here to see you, right? And Jesus answering them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. So he knows he's going in to be crucified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Now think about that analogy. You got a single piece of corn. In that piece of corn is all the information that you need to make an entire corn plant and to have it reproduce. And when that thing sprouts and begins to grow, the corn seed that it was ceases to exist. And it is now a new thing. All right? So what he says, he that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto eternal life. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. And if any man serve me, him will my Father honor. Now is my soul troubled. Right, listen, he goes on. Because we're changing gears here. Now is my soul troubled. What shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. All right? But for this cause came I into this hour. So what am I supposed to do? Pray for God for this not to happen. This is the entire point I was born. Yeah. All right? Now, the people that will testify in the last days kind of feel that way about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, in the same way. This is their point. At that point, they'll know. If they're delivered up, they know then.
All
right?
Yeah.
You know you're one of them, right?
That's crazy,
that's right.
Wow.
Now, listen to what he says, all right? Father, glorify thy name, all right? Then, all right, so we got something. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it, and I will glorify it again. That's talking about two advents. This first time, he glorified Christ when he walked as a man, and he will glorify him again at the second advent. And that's exactly what it's talking about, all right? Verse 29, the people therefore stood by and heard it and said that it thundered. Others said an angel spake to him. The best way I can chalk this up is God speaks to each person individually. All right? And maybe somebody that heard thunder just couldn't deal with what God had to say about it, and that's all they heard from it. All right? But there was more to it. And Jesus answered and said, This voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. All right? This didn't have nothing to do with him at the first advent. This has to do with us at the second advent, the time when he'll be glorified again. Listen to what it says. This is 5 days out. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And if I be lifted up from this earth, I will draw all men unto me. And that happens at the second advent when all knees bow and all tongues confess. All right? But don't go past that. What did he say? Now shall, when? The 5th day, 5 days before Passover, now shall the prince of this world be cast out. All right? Where is he now? The prince of this world is Lucifer. He's held with my Michael in heaven. All right? And when he is cast out to this earth. Now, don't anybody say that when the sun goes down, I'm saying that the Antichrist is going to appear. We don't know when that will be. But, based on what this says, remember, he said, I foretold you all things. Nothing should sneak up on you all the way. You should have some kind of an idea of what's going on. All right? But what I am saying is Sunday, one of these years, 5 days from Passover, the Antichrist will be kicked out onto the earth. And he will appear as the Antichrist and deceive man into believing that he is God among men. All right? And that's what the book of Revelation reveals to the people. It uncovers. Remember, apocalypse means revelation, means to uncover or to reveal. What are you uncovering? The deception of the last days. Okay? Now, just put that in your pipe and your little slow cooker or whatever you need to do with it and just let it stew a little bit, all right, and just hang on. All right, because it does also say that no man knows the hour, all right, or exactly when. All right, but that can mean we just don't know the year. But you can bet it's going to be associated with Passover in some way. And tonight, when the sun goes down, this is the 5-day mark before Passover. I even had it marked on my calendar, something big. I mark it there every year. So one of these days it's going to be right. And now I'm on record saying it.
Yeah, with the stuff that's going on, too.
That's right. It's all boiling. Everything's boiling.
All the political stuff. That's what gets me.
Yeah, Israel is in it.
Being political.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the first beast is political. That's right.
It's all political at this point.
That's right.
The whole world is a political turmoil.
That's right. We have many things going on. We have banks failing. We have school shootings going on. Oh, guess what? Congratulations. I've been on this one for a little bit. Well, all right, we officially have many more mass shootings than we have days in this year already. We've had more. That's better than one a day. All right, the last one, 3 9-year-olds. Yeah, Nashville, 3 9-year-olds shot in their school. 3 adults shot.
With a number of teachers as well.
Yeah. Before police come in. Now, I'm sure these police are going to catch a lot of crap. You couldn't pay me to be a police officer. It doesn't matter what these poor people do. It's going to be wrong. Yeah. It doesn't matter. If they went in there and stopped this person, somebody's going to be saying, well, you should have tried to catch her alive. Nah. Done. It's over. You don't get a do-over. No mulligan, nothing. All right? That's good enough for me. Now, that gets me off on another rant, which I've already done a lot about. All right. So, just keep those kind of things in mind. Here we go into the Passover. Monday, by the way, if you want to know when Passover starts, it's Monday night when the sun goes down. All right.
So and there's Tuesday, right?
So the next Sabbath for this year is on a Tuesday. When the sun goes down on Monday nights, the Sabbath is actually Tuesday this year. Through that cycle. Actually, you'll have it doubled up because this Monday will be the last one. So Sunday night of the last one, and then this one is the first one of this year of that cycle, of that religious cycle. So you'll have 2 in a row, and then 6 days, and then an end,
Right.
and one at the end, and then it'll be one every 7 days after that.
So we'll feast Monday night, right?
Yeah, Monday night. Yeah, we wait till the sun goes down, and we'll do it. I'm gonna be cooking it while you're working, because I'm not working. But anyway, that's enough. You guys have fun. We'll see you later.
River Mike, are you gonna come?